You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
I can't even call it a revenge game because the Dolphins over the past few years, especially under Brian Flores, just have been totally unable to get anything against the Bills. It's no matter how good the Dolphins look, no matter how bad the Bills are, it just ends up being a Bills win and quite an easy one. So saying that, and to not get into the Deshaun Watson talk, how big a game is this for not just Tua, but the coaching staff in general? And is it a matter of the Dolphins need to be competitive in the fourth quarter, win or lose? Like as long as the Dolphins, Tua, and the offense have looked good throughout four quarters, do you think that's enough to spin it as a positive game?
I got some predictions, and we'll get to that probably towards the end. But I think it's going to be a good game, and I think there's a lot of positives that are going to come out of this one way or the other. But I think there's an added pressure because of the trade deadline, the stuff off air. I told you before all this, I didn't even think Tua was going to make it to Saturday because, if I was in charge, he didn't lose the last two games he played, and he progressed and looked good, although be it there were some ugly interceptions. His value is probably as high as it's been, at least since we've drafted an injured quarterback. You know what I'm saying? We're never going to get that first rounder back. I don't think so. Definitely not a top 5 pick unless Chris Greer really gets somebody too, boy, which, hey, I don't put it past him. I think it's going to Carolina too, because if you guys remember, Carolina liked Tua a lot. It was always speculated that if the Dolphins took Herbert, the Chargers weren't going to take Tua, and he was going to fall to Carolina. That was always the big speculation when that draft happened. But I don't know, man. I think the team can put together a really good game. I think they're going to fight for the guy. I thought it was last week they would fight for him. I think it's this week. It's the impending doom. Buffalo's on a tiny bit of a skid. They got walloped by Tennessee last time I saw, and then didn't they beat somebody last week? And I can't remember. I don't know.
No, they was on a bye week, and
that's again, right. It was a bye week. That's why I can't remember who they fought.
Yeah. So what people are saying is the Dolphins are heading to Buffalo after Buffalo lost and have had a bye week. Just sit on it, stew on it. So again, everyone's just like, this is going to be an ugly 4 quarters for the Dolphins.
I think it's going to be one more hell of a game than people are giving it, dude, because this is go for broke for Tua. This is his big job interview, or for us or anyone else. Who's going to go for broke for him? Because right now, the whole NFL wants the guy who's apparently taking his job. And I believe in the kid, as you know. And there's one thing he's got, his heart. He will sacrifice. He will go hard. That's why I wanted to trade him by Saturday if they were going to do it, because I'm afraid he'll be out there trying to be like Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, sacrificing his body. And I worry about the things that we should all be worrying about for a smaller, injury-prone guy. He has been injured, so I hate to say that because I don't think he's injury-prone. I've seen them hits; they're ugly hits. That's not an injury-prone. That's a bad hit.
Yeah.
So it's not really injury-prone. It's bad luck, we'll call it. But I think they could. I know the spread's probably like 13 points or something. Last time I saw it was like 13.5. It'll probably come up to closer to 20. I would lay the points on the Dolphins all day because there's no way it's going to be that big of a spread. I know it's in Buffalo. I know all these things. But I would venture to say that the Dolphins could win this football game. They can, for all the reasons I mentioned earlier in the year. All the same things I said to you guys last time for the Buffalo game. I believe all those things are still true now. Gaskin can get it up on it. Mike Gesicki, these guys had great numbers. I be it that it's with two bad defenses. But outside of, if you look at the last loss, it was 2 very bad interceptions and the defense giving up a couple of big pops. But everything else was pretty maintained. There was a few untimely penalties, but not like how it's been. Austin Jackson blows up like he does. He gonna blow one. He gonna turnstile somebody and look around and go, "Oh, I went the wrong way." That's just how it goes. But we, you know, to give him some credit, I know it's easy to pile on someone when they look that ugly. He's in a new position. People don't want to say that, but he's a tackle in an at guard. So there's growing pains. And he's got another rookie next to him. So it's not like he can look to his left and say, hey, Liam, what the hell are we doing on this play? He got to look to his right and go, Austin, new guy, what the hell are we doing in this play? Yeah. So if there's a confusion.
He fight last week.
He did good. Yeah, I thought so too. I thought that was just Chris Greer again. Snagged, low, plug and play. I don't blame Chris Greer for a lot. And honestly, I don't blame Flo either. I feel like they've taken calculated, unnecessary risks because that's kind of how the NFL is. It's gotten super analytical. These guys are running a play with a purpose because it might only be a run play that gets stuffed in the hole at the line or a no gain or whatever. But that's set up because in the fourth quarter, when they think we're doing it and we're close at the end zone and they seen that formation and that safety bit and that linebacker cheated over, I'm pulling the ball and I'm tossing it to the goofy tight end that, you know, Carter, who only comes on for 2 or 3 plays and he catches it. So guess what? Next time we're going to see Carter out there. And someone's going, here's that guy. He only comes out here every time just to catch the stupid ball. And they're going to cheat over and it's going to leave someone wide open over the top for that 60-yard bomb.
It's funny you say that. That's exactly what they did in London against the Jags. So you saw it the first few weeks, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. Who comes in? Jacoby Brissett. Sneak the ball. Mm-hmm. Similar situation. Jacoby Brissett comes in. Everyone screaming sneak. Everyone.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying I called it, but I said on podcast previous to that game, one of these plays, he's going to pull it back, deep bomb. That's exactly what he did, like a 34-yard gain to Durham Smythe, which is, again, that's the annoying thing about the Dolphins. When they do go deep...
He looks so slow, bro. Yeah. I mean, I know he's running faster than I can run, but he's just like...
Yeah. But that's the thing, like, if you have Waddle on that route, it's a touchdown. Instead, they choose, like, a Matt Collins or a Durham Smythe.
And he could sneak it, too. Like, if he's one-on-one, good.
Yeah. But, yeah, so, yeah, it's... Like you said, it's an analytical game. The Dolphins will try stuff in the first quarter to set up something for the fourth quarter. It is what it is. I say we get the podcast started. It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that not goes only across the pond, but across the world. I'm Kadeem Simmons. Guys, Charlie Touche is on his way back very, very soon. We're having discussions. He's talking again. He'll be back soon, sooner than you know it. So, again, send him our well wishes as he battled pneumonia. Come on, Charlie, you can do this. It's Buffalo week. It's an ugly, ugly game for Dolphins recently. Friend of the podcast, Mars Gaskin, came on here in the off season, and he didn't give away too much. But the one thing he did give away is that he's got this Buffalo game circled because it's the one team the Dolphins haven't beat, and the Bills have put an absolute beating on the Dolphins since Brian Flores took over. As we mentioned before we got started, listen, this is a Buffalo team who got beaten from post to post, pillar to pillar, door to door, like just against the Titans. They've had 2 weeks to sit on that. They will want to get back to winning ways. And it's unfortunate that they're playing the Dolphins. But listen, this is a Dolphins team which there's pride. You know, they do not want to fall to 1-7. They do not want to just lose over and over again. And for all the people that say that they're not behind Tua or, you know, Brian Flores has lost the locker room, listen to these guys speak. There was a clip of Gesicki after the touchdown throw against the Falcons. And Gesicki was like, that's the best throw Tua's thrown to me. Like, he's praising his guy. Matt Collins said, Tua is that guy. Like, these guys love Tua. I believe they love Flo. I think, listen, I can't sit here and say the Dolphins are going to win because recent history tells us it's going to be ugly. However, if the Dolphins are going to turn around and, you know, losing back-to-back last-second field goals against the Falcons and the Jags, go get that win this week. What do you think?
Well, I like the matchup. Before I get on the tangent, anyone listening or watching and stuff like that, make sure to like, subscribe, comment for the guys that want to hear feedback. They want to know what you're thinking. They want to know how people feel about the Dolphins, the show. Give them some feedback, show them some love. Make sure to like, try to subscribe, feel it out. I'm sure you guys will fall in love. There's just no way. Anyhow, I kind of like what you're saying. I agree. First of all, I mentioned it on before off camera that the first time we had the matchup with the Bills, I knew this team was built in the offseason to beat the Bills, it looked like, because why aren't we measuring against that? And I think they're still building that way, not to get off on the other trade thing, but the weapons are there. Myles Gaskin is, I don't want to say thank goodness Malcolm Brown ain't in there no more, but, I'm glad that it's going to be Myles and his best friend in the backfield, splitting carries, getting competitive amongst each other, trying each other on the bench, saying, hey, man, I'm going to outrun you on this one. They're going to call that play. We're going to get it. And them get the ball. That steady run game, take it out of their hands. But, if you look at it, when the Bills got beaten by Tennessee, it was the run game that opened the whole thing up for them. Yeah, granted, it's Derrick Henry. But it was the run game. They stuck with it. The Bills even got out in front of them. They didn't abandon the run game. They kept at it. They used that once they sucked up for the run game, then they started putting the ball over the top of them. I believe Tua is going to do kind of what he's been doing. I mean, look, if you look at his incompletions last game, they were all drops and 2 interceptions. And he's done that like 3 times. So we got to find our parallels and our consistencies with predictions. And I think he's going to do good. I think he's going to make one bonehead play. I think everybody does. I think we get one from Austin Jackson. I think we get one from him. And these are the young guys that are allowed to have him. Well, I mean, Tua's not, because look at the freaking pressure the whole league is putting on the kid. But he's allowed to have him in my eyes, especially because I believe they got a chance to win. I really do. And I think it could be a nail biter. And I was going to save it for the end, but I'll just tell you the points now because it'll be better to explain. I think this could be a Jason Sanders kick to win it, 28-27. And it just is that jubilation type of scenario where everyone knows that, I mean, these guys, their season's over, but there's one more extra game. It's not technically over. 10-7 might get you in. And I don't mean to sound like a blind ass fan just going, oh, we're still going to get in the playoffs. I make no bones about the circumstances we're in. But these guys are pros. Mike Gesicki ain't quitting on nobody. You know what I'm saying? He ain't quitting on nobody, bro. And Mac Hollins, even Isaiah Ford. Isaiah Ford is not a professional. There's a reason why he keeps finding work in the NFL. When younger guys show up, they bring in the pro. Me might not have any of the gifts and stuff like that, but he is smart. There's values like the Udonis Haslam to the Heat. They keep an old timer on there. It keeps everyone in check. I like our boys' chances to not for nothing destroy the spread that Vegas puts on it. Destroy. So put that money in the bank, guys. So if anyone's thinking about betting, put a couple bones on the thing, and I'm telling you, it could work. But I also believe that no matter how it slices, it is going to be not a blowout like we got last time. These guys aren't going to lay down that way. And if it does, then I'm going to look at a flow, because now I'm worried about the state of the team, because that's when people start quitting on you.
Yeah. It's like, for whatever reason, and again, this is a defense, especially last year, who looked like they could stop anyone. Looked like a defense which could hold anyone to 7 points and do it comfortably. But when they play Josh Allen and his Buffalo team, I feel like Buffalo are literally in the headset on both sides of the ball, and they know exactly what the Dolphins are going to do before they do it. So to me, it comes down to, especially stopping Josh Allen, limit those big plays to Stephon Diggs. Like, someone has to do it. And I don't even know if we can say chuck X on him, because he'll burn X. He'll burn Jones. Like, it's just one of those things where this pass rush of all weeks needs to get home and get home early. But at the same time, it's about being disciplined. This Miami Dolphins defense under Brian Flores is about knowing your assignments. Don't try and make the play or the splash play, because if you do that, if you crash the A gap when you're meant to crash like the B gap, it's all going to fall apart. And we can't allow Josh Allen to start running all over us because.
Oh man, I hope that don't happen.
And
That happens, I'm gonna be screaming my head off because that's the last. I can take a loss. Do not let that freaking guy get downfield.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I said this. When we played them in week 2. If Josh Allen beats us by throwing for 400 yards through the air, you just got to say, do you know what? Allen had one of those days.
Yeah.
But I know it's going to happen at least twice. It's going to be like 3rd and 7. Dolphins are like, do you know what? We've got one to field. Everyone's going to be blanketed down the field, and Allen's going to tuck it and run, pick up a first down, and it's just going to be like, guys, really? Like he's a big dude, but he can run. And to me, it's about containing him inside the pocket. Listen, I'm still quietly hoping Josh Allen goes back to like year 1, year 2 Josh Allen, where he makes those stupid throws, those stupid interceptions. And it's about, being able to get into his head, disguise what we're doing. I would love to see the Amoeba defense come back this week. We haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bring that back, just allow Ogba and Jalen Phillips to pin their airbacks, contain him in the pocket, hit him hard and early if possible. And my worry is that we'll get the Bills in 3rd down situations and he'll beat us with his legs. And again, you just know that will happen, and then it'll be like a deep bomb to Stephon Diggs or whoever, like Cole Beasley if he's playing. It's just going to be. Listen, this defense, especially after the last 2 weeks, step up this week. This week is the week where you show everyone, why Jones and Next get paid all that money, why Holland was taken in the 2nd round, why Jerome Baker got paid all that money, why Christian Wilkins is an ascending talent. Like, please, guys, please this week. What do you think?
Well, going back to my prediction and things like that, I think this is really for no reason other than the Dolphins reason. That's it. Just that's so Dolphins, same old Dolphins. For no reason other than the fact that all hope is lost. We're writing off the season. We're saying, yep, we don't even got a quarterback right now. We might be getting this other guy. We're not ever going to the playoffs. For that reason alone, I think we're going to get every call. I think we're not going to get the flags that are murdering us, that are just killing the drive. I think we're going to get every pass interference call that should, be called proper. I just think the ball is going to bounce. It's going to be one of those games where things click. And you've said this, they've said this, they are there. And for whatever reason, because Tua might be leaving, for whatever reason, because I'm so sick of Buffalo being, they're laughing on their bench. For whatever reason, everyone's going to get home on Sunday because that would be right with par with this franchise. This would be right what they would do. All hope is lost. I'm ready to just not watch the rest of the season. Not me, but I've been there before. We've all have. I'll never quit watching because I'm freaking like, they're like my dealer at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's my Dolphins dealer. But this is the game that they are going to make it happen. And all the right bounce of the ball is going to happen our way. And we're going to hang with them. Guys, like the linebacking unit on defense is really our weakness. And it sucks because Baker, and I said this last time, I guess he's not the guy I thought he was. But I think Baker has all that ability. And this would be on par to the seasons, too. It's always right about now. These guys are cruising. They've either got it or almost got it. It's the point in which it's all or nothing because with everything else happening, these guys, I think they still believe in flow. I don't think they've given up on the guy. I really don't. And I think although it might seem cute to us because it don't work, I think they all truly believe it can. Yeah. And I think on Sunday, this is the week we get to see it actually happen and surprise Buffalo. And inevitably, the stock on Tua will be as high as it's ever been for them to make their decision. But you know how I feel on that. We'll talk about that a different time.
Yeah. And again, you raised an excellent point. Is that, shout out Josh Katzker and the, Same Old Dolphins show. It's what the Dolphins would do. Listen, I believe the Dolphins are 6-0 on Halloween when they play. So they've got that on their side. This is the game which no one expects the Dolphins to win. You know, we lost to the Raiders, lost to the Falcons, lost to the Jaguars because people kind of expected the Dolphins to win. This is a game in which no one is giving them a chance. Listen, I don't watch or get ESPN over here in the UK. I'm pretty sure all those ESPN talking heads, the Good Morning Football talking heads, like all the podcasts, they can be Buffalo, 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 Buffalo. It's going to be Tua can't do it. Like, you know, Colin Cowman is going to be Tua's a boss. You know,
Oh
Tua's
man,
going
I
to
hate
be,
that guy.
yeah, you know, Tua's going to be out injured in the first quarter. But that's going to, again, all this stuff. And Tua's going to be like, count me out at your peril. This is my week. So, you know, you mentioned the linebackers. To me, it's a major weakness in the sense that for all the stick that Baker's got this season, we haven't seen the Landon Roberts, we haven't seen Andrew Van Ginkel, we haven't seen Sam McGuire. You know, these are guys which, and again, the Dolphins like to have a lot of DBs on the field and stuff like that. But if the Dolphins are to get anything out of, you know, this Sunday's game, they need to get the linebackers in the correct position because. And again, I don't think it's Baker's fault that he gets torched in passing downs because he's not that guy. He's got the quickness, but hasn't quite got those zone reads and stuff like that. Same way Landon Roberts on passing downs, dude, just get him off the field. It's not going to work. So
he did intercept the ball and run it all the way back to cut the buddy some break, dog. I know he hobbled his way through there. It was ugly at the end.
Yeah, but then it's like, where's he been since? And I think like even in the run game, it's kind of like
he's the lay the wood guy though, right? He's the guy that comes up and hits the hole and makes sure you're running back thinking about it, making business decisions again. You know?
Yeah, and I think again that's what. Listen, I'm not a key to success guy, but the key to success are first and second downs. It's the Bills want to run it. Have Roberts there, bam, stop dead. You're looking at third and 12, third and 13. Bring out that amoeba defense. And again, say to Josh Allen, we don't believe you've got the mental processes to get the ball in under, 1.5 seconds and find Stephon Diggs because X is going to blanket him up. And on the top of X, we're going to have Javon Holland. And at that point, it's just a matter of, listen, if he gets it out and Diggs catches it, you say, well done. Now try it again and try it again. And if the Bills torch that amoeba defense and win, I am 99% sure. Okay, I'm 99% sure that Dolphin Twitter and people are like, oh, they shouldn't have done it. All that kind of stuff, all that kind of stuff, because the Dolphins Twitter or Dolphins fan base in general are negative. But you will see a lot of people say, you know what?
At least it was fun to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
They might have got burned 80 plays, but those 5 where we blew their quarterback or their running back up and he fumbled the ball, they were doing that more. And we talked about that. I thought also about, what we spoke about last time about, especially on the defense, because on the offense, we lost just a quarterback that's having a lot of these problems and a veteran, and that's easy to see. But Kyle Van Noy and Bobby McCain being gone and goes back to what I was saying earlier about this, our GM Chris and how he stays multiple with the cap and this stuff. Bobby McCain was able to play single high at the top, make sure no one gets behind him. I don't care if he's got to tackle him after a big gain. He wasn't giving it up. And Kyle Van Noy was able to get right in the center of the defense down on 3 and go at the nose tackle, between the guard and play right on top of the line. And then he dropped back into pass coverage. Efficient at times, it was kind of ugly because he kind of passed his prime. And that's not really what he's doing now in New England. And that's kind of why he's gone. My point is that those 2 guys were past their prime and they had to let him go for this reason that they need to replace him. But what they didn't do is replace him. What they've done is the job and role that they've replaced, they've broken it up into pieces on snaps amongst a myriad of guys. And we've seen all the growing pains. I'm not making excuses because it's been ugly. Yes. But it's gotten closer and they're getting better. And there's a lot of, they're close. And we see that. This is young guys. I think this is the week we see it start, the fruits of their labor. It starts paying off. Maybe they do lose, but it'll be the way they just lost the last few weeks, where they're kicking a game winner at the end, or it'll be the other way around. And honestly, I think it's going to be the other way around. I think it's going to be one of those things where we're down, Tua's got the ball, and he just pushes them right in the field goal range to win it. And it's going to be a narrative that is not dissimilar to what we've seen a lot of times in the NFL. And it'll be pretty. It'll be fun. People will be happy, and then they'll be shocked.
Yeah, definitely. I think, we talk about how close this team is. I think to me, it comes down to two moments in each of the last two games, which to me, the make or break. And it's not the two interception, it's not a throw down field which you caught by the opposing wide receiver. It's two plays on special teams. It's the one where it hits the Jaguars' fingers. It looks like it hits it. It's not given.
Oh God, I hate that. I don't even want to see the picture. I got it like on my feed and stuff. It infuriates me.
Yeah, but then something extremely similar happened last week against the Falcons, where the ball bounces just in between the Falcon player's legs. Now that one, it doesn't touch him. And again, to me, these are like the very, very fine margin that the Dolphins are losing games on. Because again, if that touches the player's ankle, like brushes his sock, and the Dolphins recover and go on to score a touchdown, it's game changing. And
momentum is continuing, and we're on the rise.
Exactly. And people will say, "Oh, well, the Dolphins are making excuses about they're not close." Listen, if you lose back-to-back games on last-second field goals,
that's pretty close.
Yeah, exactly.
Granted, it's against a terrible team you should have smoked at the beginning 100%. Of the year, but that's the thing. I don't mean to cut you off a bit, but when you're saying close, I look back at those interceptions from Tua, and that one that he was getting tackled, the uglier of the two, when he's just going down and it's coming out of his arm. Waddle should have caught that ball. He stepped, if you watch it back again, he steps to his left, and if he would have stayed there, or if he would have just stayed, it would have came right to him. But he stepped to his left, and honestly, I think it was just a mental error on Waddle. Seeing Tua like this with the ball and the ball's in both his hands, I think it was just instinct where he stepped to his left because he's been a wide receiver, and a right-handed quarterback would have put it with his right to the left. Yeah. And because he's left-handed, he put it right where he was at, and he stepped out of the way. It's a very obvious thing to see if you look at it again, because there was a lot of people making fun of it, but they're like, "Oh, he's trying to make a football movie. He didn't get the ball." I'm like, that's not what he freaking did. What he did is he tried to put himself where the ball was. What he didn't do is he did it for a right-handed quarterback, not a left. And I wonder if that's a lot of problems and miscommunications. I know we see these good balls thrown and everything like that, but I wonder that angled tendency where a wide receiver been trained his whole life, there's not very many left-handed quarterbacks, always leans this way or always leans that way. It takes a very long time to get that chemistry for that lean that goes into it. And when it's done right, it'll really hurt defenses. I think that's what happened on that play.
I think the only thing to kind of go against that is that Waddle has played with Tua a lot. Obviously in Alabama,
that's true.
Yeah, but again, it's still one of those things where
heat of the moment, though, instinct, seeing it, that's kind of thing.
And I think what I was thinking, Tua's going down, and again, this is me, with my ultimate Tua hat, Waddle hat, glued to my head. This is me thinking that Waddle's thinking Tua's going down, but he's smart enough. We've got that connection where he knows I'm going to move. Yeah. So it's the same way if this is, Allen and Diggs or Rodgers and Adams. Yeah. Rodgers knows exactly that even though I'm peeling to my right, Adams, go left. Because I'm going to – it's what you said about Watson.
Because he knows Tua's going to put the ball on that shoulder to be the perfect to get around the defender because he probably knew that's where he was. I can see that too. That's a good point because that could be that as well.
Yeah, and do you know what?
Tua shouldn't have thrown that ball. That's all.
No.
That problem.
Of course. But again, I find it funny, and people. This is going to turn into a Tua defense moment. So just bear with me very quickly. Dolphins Twitter, they keep receipts. They notice everything, and the two separate incidents they've noticed over the past, I think it's 2 weeks, is Patrick Mahomes threw a very similar interception to Tua. And no one really said anything. Now, granted, Mahomes is top 3 quarterback, could be number 1, Super Bowl, all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
Mahomes threw a very stupid throw, and everyone's just like, people make mistakes. Tua threw it, burn him out the sticks. You got to get rid of him. Same way, I think, I can't remember who the Chargers were playing. They were down in the red zone, down in the score. Herbert throws an ugly interception, and this Twitter person, I think it's like Don Cleveland or something like that, just tweeted, Herbert throws an interception. End of it. Tua throws an interception against the Falcons. That's just an awful interception, blah, blah. It's like,
what a bum.
Yeah, it's like, dude, keep up the same energy. And again, a lot of this week's narrative has just been Tua hasn't deserved the negativity that's come his way.
Okay. So, and not to give him, bad, juju or anything like that, but what he gets from why he's getting these bad things, number one, it's because he's from Alabama. There's plenty of people that hate that. And we've seen this when we were talking about drafting him. The criticism that he deserved, injured, and all that stuff. But what they really get is that he don't stand up for himself. He don't come out there. He don't have that swagger about him. And honestly, that hurts him on this team in this city, in Miami. They want flashy. On the basketball team here, ain't no one would dare talk, say, ask nothing like that about Jimmy Butler. Because he don't care that he's rich or nothing. He'll spend a night in jail, whip your butt. You know what I'm saying? He don't give a damn, bro. And not that I need that out of Tua, but I said it before. I was so looking forward that last time we were playing Buffalo, he would be the man that game. We would see that killer come out in him. I'm hoping that that's going to happen this time. That's why I predicted it. Maybe not so much the killer, but here's the deal, man. We've seen Ryan Tannehill before. And I've seen a lot of different Ryan Tannehills. That don't necessarily work, even not just in the NFL, but especially for this team in City.
Yeah.
When Dan was there, he was just a different attitude. You weren't gonna. He didn't believe he was ever gonna lose, even when it was gone, and he would prove himself right. He's not competing with that other team. He's competing against himself. Yeah. Tom Brady plays that way. That's what I need out of my quarterback. And honestly, if he'd have handled it that way, which I feel things were pretty bad starting out for him, but if he had kind of handled it that way, I think things would be different. I don't even think, whether a trade happens or not, and I got a question about the trade deadline for you, but I think the disrespect, they wouldn't give him the disrespect he gets. That's what people really want to see. And that's why I have reservations about Justin Herbert, because although I see that cannon of an arm and I see all those things and I see a great guy, I still don't see what it takes to be. Patrick Mahomes got it. He got killer instinct, and that's why he doesn't get chewed out on that interception either. Because I've seen also Patrick Mahomes, A, win a Super Bowl, and B, go in the Super Bowl and put darts so good on plays he should have got sacked on. Right in people's freaking faces. It's hitting people in the face, not just one guy, like 2 or 3 in the Super Bowl. So he gets to throw that bad interception. Tua would too. But he got to come out and go, what, that interception from the game that meant nothing because I won the game? Go, stick it up your butt, or go, whatever. And maybe not, he don't have to swear. He don't have to be that way. But he got to have that attitude. Got to have that feel, that vibe.
I think it's something he was asked, and we'll move to the huddle very, very briefly. He was asked in his media availability this week, that he had some positive moments against the Falcons, and how do you feel about that? And his response was, ultimately, it doesn't matter because we lost. He said the same thing to me and other journalists when he was in London, and that's
a good line.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's you kind of want him to say, oh, what, like you said, that interception didn't matter because I had a 91-yard touchdown drive and we won the game. And the defense done what it had to do. Instead, it's like, even though I had the 91-yard touchdown drive, we lost and people were only talking about the interception. So listen, it's Tua genuinely needs a no interception game against the Bills. Or if it's an interception, it's got to be a
not mattering one.
Oh, no, to me, it's not even that. It's got to be a, throw to a wide receiver. I'm not going to put any bad juju on anyone, but a throw to a wide receiver, which he catches and then he fumbles, and then the receiver or the cornerback picks it, and everyone. And
Kind of like X's interception last week. It got took. He didn't throw an interception. Gotcha.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. I think it will then come down to the Tua fans will turn around and say that's not on Tua. The Tua haters will say, well, you should have thrown it somewhere else, or should have thrown it to only where the receiver can get it. And at that point, you just got to go, you don't like the kid, so just save everyone.
Well, there's haters. We knew that, bro.
Well, of course,
they hate him for a gazillion reasons. The Alabama being probably the biggest one, honestly.
Yeah. So, listen, it is what it is. I say we jump into no huddle because
injury down,
ugly. So, start off with the weather. Buffalo Sunday. It's 13 degrees Celsius and 55 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's good weather. Yeah. That sounds nice.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds nice. What's the wind? Any wind or anything like that? Because it's gonna be windy as a mother.
Wind is 14 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good wind, especially because it like swirls all around up there.
I think actually, so it's what I'm looking at 13 degrees Celsius in London right now. As I record, it's 14 degrees, and I'm in just a t-shirt.
Nice.
Like my heating's off, so that's perfect for me. Yeah, that's the weather. We'll start with the Bills injury report. Boogie Basham did not participate on Thursday with an illness. Neither did Spencer Brown, Dawson Knox, and Emmanuel Sanders, although Sanders was just veteran rest. And then we've got Justin Zimmer, limited, and Cole Beasley was just ... He didn't participate on Wednesday. Listen, Cole Beasley, he's probably off,
he's like 190 pounds, 5'10", maybe, with his cleats on and a helmet. The guy's injured.
Yeah, probably, or talking about COVID or something.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he's vaccinated.
Listen, it's just a mess. As Charlie would say, stay positive, test negative. But as for the Dolphins, still not good, but is what it is. Jerome Baker, Xavier Howard, Noah Igbenogany, Brandon Jones, Byron Jones, Greg Mount, and Devontae Parker were all limited on Thursday. Jacoby Brissett, Jalen Phillips, Landon Roberts, Zach Sealer, and Tua were all full participants. Still, dealing with niggling injuries, Tua's ribs, Jalen Phillips' ankle, Jacoby Brissett's hamstring. But I think I read that the Dolphins basically had everyone in practice on Thursday, which, listen, going to a game against Buffalo, that's the best you can hope for, and hopefully that continues heading into Sunday. What you got for fantasy?
Well, for fantasy, I got a couple things. I was going to start Daniel Jones. I'm still debating on it because I know Patrick Mahomes is no longer questionable. And it's weird to think that I would sit Patrick Mahomes and start Daniel Jones. But the Giants' defense is terrible, but not as bad as KC's defense. They've been giving up massive points, man. They really have. But I'll probably still stick with Patrick Mahomes because I think a lot of people are going to count him out. Cordell Patterson I got running against, Carolina. I think he'll do fine, even though Carolina's got a great stout D. I still like what Cordell does because he's just, I don't know, there's very tricky. He did good against us. We limited him a lot. We definitely did when we played Atlanta, but I don't think he'll see 2 weeks of that. I think he's good. And I think Carolina's in a bit of a spiral. I think they're looking to trade, and they, they're not going to be getting Watson, so they're probably going to be looking for another quarterback. All the same kind of reasons, like Darnold. I just don't know. But I don't know. I got a couple of my guys out. Everyone does this time of year. You got to sit, you got to shuffle. Picked up a couple of other ones, but I'm pretty close. We're at an even match. I think I'm going against Team Suicide or something like that on the fantasy. So hopefully I'll do good. I got a couple questions though, man. What do you think about I asked you this before we started. Trade deadline's coming. We're not talking Deshaun stuff. We're not talking trading away Tua. But what on this right now, if we were to make a trade and that happened, it's not about them, but who goes along? Because I have an idea of who may go. And I think there's some easy ideas, but I don't know. I got a little bit different of a view. Who do you think would go to make this trade happen? Because I don't think it's all going to be picks. It never was supposed to be. They always wanted 2 players and they wanted 2 players and 5 first rounders. That's what they wanted. And everyone was like,
Yeah.
whoa, I don't think so. And now it's probably going to be 3, a second, and 2 players or 1 player. Who do you think it's going to be if there's 1 or 2?
I said off air, I can see a Parker or Wilson. And I think especially since they traded Mark Ingram and you've seen Brandon Cooks kind of, blow up on social media, you wouldn't be surprised if Brandon Cooks gets out of there before the trade deadline.
I would love that.
They need wide receiver help, among other things. So I can see them, being forced, I guess, Wilson or Parker. I don't think the Dolphins give up on Preston Williams right now. Obviously not going to be Jalen Waddle. I don't think they send Will Fuller back. Obviously he's on IR as well. So I can see one of those 2 guys. I would listen again. I wouldn't stop supporting the team, but if they sent Mike the other way,
I would be upset. I would be pretty upset.
I'd be on a plane to Miami, with a placard outside Hard Rock Stadium saying, Mike saying, what's still the team? Like, just fight everyone. Like, I don't think they do that. I know people have said that, it could be the reason why they haven't, extended Oprah and Mike, but I
have a comparison that the reason why I don't think they will trade Mike. Devontae, I think for his value and his ability, I think Houston would want him. I don't think Parker wants to go, and I don't think the Dolphins are okay with doing that. With all the turmoil going on, they got to tread lightly on who walks out the door. I think Christian Wilkins goes in that trade, bro.
Oh, dude, don't say that.
I'm telling you. I think it's Christian Wilkins, and I'll tell you why. Because riddle me this. Okay, first of all, D tackles get paid a lot of money. Would you franchise tag Christian Wilkins next year and pay the money on the franchise tag? Because that's the most important question on whether this team should be signing their talent. Because if you're not willing to franchise tag that guy, then you shouldn't be signing him. I've seen us make this mistake forever, where we sign guys. We just did it with Jerome. Now, granted, we didn't pay Jerome top, money. You know what I'm saying? But it's not working either way. Even though we got a deal, we're asking him to play outside of his scope. We should only be paying talent. I would never pay Christian Wilkins that money for the 1 year. I think probably close to $20 million for 1 year, maybe more. D tackle, $21 million, $20 million, 19, 18 million for 1 year. I don't know. You might be able to look it up real quick. But a franchise tag next year for a defensive tackle, because that's what he plays, or defensive end, or even pass rusher. God, anything on the D line, it's expensive. Would you pay that for 1 year?
I'm just looking at so this is from 2021. So 2021 D tackle was 13 mil. They're looking at 2022 it being 16 mil.
Okay, 16 million for 1 year.
But won't he have his 5th-year option first? So won't it be 5th-year option next year, and then
and that can happen. But a lot of guys don't want to do that. He can play hardball. They can pick up their 5th year, but he'll be expecting a payday, and it will be probably kind of like Jerome's is, and we can pay that. But a lot of those guys don't, they don't sign that 5th year because they're trying to play the big money. And next year will be his big money year. He looks good, and the money's paying off. But, I think he's looking for the big bucks like everybody. Let's get real. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think he's going to do this team much favors. He's going to want the money. I don't think this team in 2 years is going to be in position to pay him because of what they need to do, have to do, and what could do, especially in the circumstance we're talking here. He is the perfect trade value to go to them. If they want 2 players, it's him and Xavier Howard that's going to go because they want X. X gives them something to sell jerseys. They got a D tackle that's still got a 5th-year option that they'll extend right away. And it's two things from the defense and all this stuff, and they can rally around the defense, take the pressure off the offense for when they bring in a rookie QB, sink all their assets and money into offensive line. In this, I know how this works. You got to look at it from both ways. So I would say he's probably a piece that they're gunning after in this trade situation, and it might take a Christian Wilkins piece to make this happen.
If the Texans do ask for him, as Charlie would say, I'm telling them to kick rocks. Like, I'm not doing it. No, go away.
That's why I asked you, because I knew we would differ on this. Because I personally, he's showing me this is his best year, and that ain't $100 million money. So if you're not going to pay a guy $100 million contract money, and you're going to pay him medium contract money, always when we pay for something and give a big bucks, big bonuses, we want them to be one of the best. And even in a year where he knows it's a contract year or a fifth option or a whatever franchise tag, I don't see him doing that much. He's a great player. He's a guy. You know what I'm saying? This team has built those where we're trying to build around guys. When I seen success from this team, they had 3 or 4 stars on D and 2 or 3 stars on offense. That's how you go to the playoffs. That's how you win Super Bowls. If you look at how the Kansas City Chiefs are, they got a lot of lower guys, some draft pick guys, but their offense predicates around Kelsey, Hill, and Mahomes. Damian Williams tried to hold out for money because he literally was MVP almost of the Super Bowl. And he's gone. And now, granted, they don't have a great running back in his stead, but the numbers probably bear out to close to the same. On their defense, when they were doing good, they had the big man up front and they had the honey badger in the back. I'm not saying that this is just what I know. You know what I'm saying? This is just what I think, and I think they know that too. And I would franchise tag Mike Gesicki. I would keep whatever he wants. I think Mike Gesicki is worth a deal like Mark Andrews is, even though he's not a Mark Andrews type where he can block like that and play that kind of game. Mark Andrews is more like a Gronk kind of type. Yeah. I think he, in his role, is worth the money he should get, which is probably close to $10 million a year. You know what I'm saying? Give or take some years and whatever it is, probably a $60 million 4-year contract. $60 million, not that much guaranteed, but you know what I'm saying. That's what he should get, and that's what I think the Dolphins will be smart enough to give him, because that kid's a pro, and he will be a Pro Bowler. And you want to pay guys that are going to be Pro Bowlers, bro. Jerome 100%. Baker ain't going nowhere. Jerome Baker ain't going to no Pro Bowler. He's done what he's done. Same thing with Christian. Sorry.
No, it's cool. Given what you've said, and so this is me, not in my Chris Greer hat on, this is me my man hat on, and this is me saying, okay. So first of all, off the bat, I'm not making the trade. That's the first thing. I'm not doing the trade, but if you've got a gun to my head and saying, listen, whether you like it or not, we're making this trade, who's going the other way? I'm saying, okay, fair enough. I'm a petty person, so I'm going to be petty. So I'm sending Jesse Davis. I'm saying, thank you very much. Off you go.
But they're selling you right now. That's the difference.
Listen, but again, it's like
it's your world. I got you.
So this is Kadeem's world.
You're the master of your universe, bro. I'm here.
And again, so on Madden, you can make the dumb trade, and I'm making a dumb trade. Listen, I'm assuming that Bill O'Brien is still in charge right now, and he's taking anything that I offer. So, Jesse Davis, off you go. You want a defensive tackle? Adam Butler, off you go. Zach Sealer, off you go.
Wait, don't give him Zach, bro. I'd rather give Christian than Zach. I'm sorry.
Dude, no.
I'm just talking about snaps and numbers, bro. I know Christian's got all these things. I know you guys love him on the show, and I love who he is and what he is. But you know what I love more? I love winning football games, and I don't see where he gives me winning football games, bro. He does in the first – he catches boys slipping early in games. He gets a sack. He bats a ball, and then he disappears the whole game. He don't stop runs. He don't get pressure. He ain't worth a damn, bro. I'm sorry. I love the guy. He's not. They're going to – they won't pay Christian Wilkins. Chris Greer's not going to pay him.
Chris Gray's gonna pay him, and when he does, and Walker's happy, I'll be there like, yay, Christian Walker's like.
Now if he turns into Aaron Donald, then I'd pay that man. He turns into Aaron Donald. He is on a good trajectory, and it could turn around. And honestly, he's probably. I haven't focused all on him. I'm sure there's a lot the D-line has to do to make up for this putrid linebacker play we're getting right now. Back to the game, though, just to get back. Go ahead.
So very quickly, I will keep Zach Sealer for you because I'm that nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying Van Ginkel, off you go because you've done nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I'll throw them a bone. I'll give them Eric Rowe. I say, do you know what, Eric?
Ooh.
I think Eric's, 29 now? Yeah, Eric's 29.
It's probably a good time to sell him high, but his value's a little low right now. You know what I'm saying? If he was Eric Rowe at the end of last year, that would have been a good time to sell him.
Yeah.
So it's a hard game to play, that game, when to sell high. It's like doing market or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'm not that person. Like I said, I make these dumb trades on Madden. I'm in a Madden league with some UK guys, and I got the Lions, which is just awful. I traded 2 firsts and 2 seconds, and I brought in Tua, Brandon Jones, Preston Williams, and Trill Williams. And I was like, dude,
what'd you do? Try to make, like, everyone makes an all-time Madden team. What did you do? You did the all-time Madden team in the other direction. We'll call it all-time. We'll call it the all-time Madden team.
I think listen, the Lions stink. They are awful. I'm like, do you know what? If I'm gonna play 5/6 seasons with the Detroit Lions, I'm using Tua. I'm currently 1-7, but I don't care. I'm having fun with Tua. It is what it is.
We're riding or dying. I know you said that about your Derrick Henry if you had him. He's my Derrick Henry. I don't care if I'm losing every game. You never get him. You are petty in that way. That's cool, man. I mean, somebody's got to be it. You know?
Yeah, you know.
But back to the game on this matchup for the game real quick.
Yeah.
You know, in that Tennessee game, they did what you were saying. You know, they gave up plays, but they didn't give up big plays. They kept everything in front. And even when they got, down in points, they kept to the game plan. And I'm hoping that's what the Dolphins do on Sunday, that they run the ball, even when it's no game, to keep the run. We gotta make certain that the run, because it's gonna pop. That's how running works. You get it at the zone, everything works out of that play. Somehow your Austin Jackson gets to the second level and sets the edge, and next thing you know, it's just him on a straightaway, and now they're, having to turn their hips to catch him, and good luck catching Myles Gaskin if he's running downhill. Or even better, Salvin Ahmed, which that boy got. I think he's just a little bit under how fast Waddle can run, because that kid is fast. Yes. Also on offense, on defense, they played a lot of the same style defense we've already put. And I discussed that last matchup, that the defense is, meant to have that Aniba defense with the 2 linebackers, and you don't know which one of these other 4 linebackers that are going to be on the line are coming back to be the 3rd linebacker in the set. But what they're also doing is they're keeping 4 or 5 deep. It looks like a Tampa 2, or actually they call it a 6. I can't remember it anyhow, but it's almost like a square box of a Tampa 2, where they got 2 guys. They got a guy on each side in like a square box. And that's what they did to keep everything in front of them, not allow Diggs to get, burned. Tennessee defense sucks. They suck, bro. They got nobody on their defense, and they kept them maintained. Whatever, let the field shorten behind me. Take all the yards you want. I'm not going to allow you to just torch me on big plays where, in 5 seconds, we're down 2 touchdowns. And although I might make you drive the length, because that's what they're looking for. That's what they want. Josh Allen has gotten really good at not going to the 2nd or 3rd read, but looking for the man that broke loose in the back. And that's what's made him a great quarterback. Outside of his accuracy issues that have gotten good, but even for some goofy, freak of nature rocket arm man, because that's what he is. Remember in the beginning, he looked like whoever was in the stands at that one game where he threw it in the stand, that guy's got a busted up face for life, because that kid's arm is so strong.
Yeah.
But on an wide open man, he's looking for him now, and he's finding him, and he's gotten good with his accuracy. If we can prevent that happening and keep the game within it, and Tua wasn't there all game, And when Tua plays, he is super, super efficient. He might go off his script where he's not doing what he should by just taking the sack. And things break down in front of him, and he's not able to elevate the team on every play. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
Even the greats can't elevate sometime. I know when Aaron Rodgers is pissed because he's grabbing that guy by the face mask and cussing him out. I wish Tua would do that more, but I think he'll make a mistake, but I still think it's going to be a close game, and I think it'll really predicate on the defense. As long as Tua doesn't get injured like he did last time, it'll be a very close game where we could potentially pull off the win on a special teams or Tua driving down or something like that. I think this is going to be a good game, though, man. I don't think it's going to look like it did. I think it only did because Tua was gone. He'll keep the game competitive. It'll be all the way down to the fourth quarter. Might feel like it's lost. He might drive us back, but I'm pulling for the kid for a win because whether he sticks with us or not, if he sticks with us and this trade deadline comes and goes, then I hope to see some things change around here and we start building around this boy the right way. If he goes on, I'll forever love him and I will watch him as intently as I watch anyone else because he is I wish he was my friend. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how anyone can be in awe of a young man like that. That is just so strong to take the criticism he is, and people are just at him. I wish he'd fight back. I know it's not his nature, but that is how it goes. And I'll defer to you. What do you think of what do you think they need to do to get a stop on Josh Allen on this defense? I know Byron looks like he's banged up, but I'm not counting Byron in on this game, honestly. I think he's going to miss it. So,
I think again, the key to victory. I think it's limiting those one play touchdowns to Stephon Diggs or to
whomever.
whatever. Yeah, I think if they can limit the big plays, and if even if it's not a one play touchdown, limit the 40, 50-yard play, which they take from if they can stop that. Again, listen, if the Bills want to beat us by having 8-minute, 13-play drives down the field, do you know what? You say fair play. Because my main worry is the Dolphins get into a shootout with Josh Allen, and the Bills are scoring these 1-2 play touchdowns, and then two of them feels
obligated.
Yeah,
he feels obligated to step outside of what he is, and it looks like how we've seen what that looks like. And I don't want him to get hurt, man.
We saw it week 17 thing where Tua were just heaving. And I think especially the offensive line managed to get worse since then. And you can't allow Tua to stand in that backfield for 3 seconds with, AJ Epinesa and Gregory Rousseau just coming at him straight away.
Big boys too, man.
Exactly. So limit the big plays, force long. You know what? Get back to that bend but don't break defense. To me, that's the way we beat the Bills.
I think they need to impose their will. That's what it is. Make them play our game. Because you see Tua drive down the field 12 plays and he scores. If defense can shorten it and just make them play that game where they take what we give them, that's what we did last year. We gave them something and let them take it, and we bait and switched them. And when they went and took it and they didn't get it, now they're in second and a long or third and long. And then we took advantage and go, okay, now we impose our will. They're right where we want them. We put the Aniba defense in. If we can do those things, we can do fine. And I think the talented guys are going to show up. Guys like, I know I just talked a bunch of shit about him, but Christian Wilkins, I think he's going to show up. I still believe in the guy. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, of course.
But Christian Wilkins, I think he's going to show up. And Mike Gesicki's definitely going to show up. And I think Tua's looking for him big time these days because I think he knows what we've all been screaming at the coaching staff, that guy needs to get the freaking ball. He needs 10 targets a game. I don't give a damn. 2 on him, 3 on him. If it's in the end zone, pop the ball up and let him go up and get it because that's what he's getting paid for. And he wants to showcase it because he wants that bread. He wants that money, and he going to show it. He wants to go to the Pro Bowl. He wants to prove it. The guy is a pro, man. We better pay him. I'm going to be pissed if he goes on that trade, dude. I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be like, yeah, you better be good quarterback guy. You made me lose my favorite player.
Listen, I need I need them to keep Tua and re-sign Chiseki. Just to break my NFL shirt, like
your fantasy team will thank the hell out of you. That's for damn sure, bro.
It's not even fantasy.
Yeah, but you got both on your fantasy team, so.
Listen, it's that Dolphin voodoo I have where I get a player and he goes. But listen.
You know what? Release him right now before we end up getting release him right now. Don't buy no Gesicki jersey, brother. Please,
oh, no.
Man. You can buy it if we pay the big contract.
Oh,
that's when you get it.
I've got one already.
Oh, well, then we're done for then.
Yeah. Like,
we're done for then. Listen, I'll speak for Charlie. I know he says it. He's done for. Charlie's right. Charlie's right. Charlie, you're right, bud. I know you probably see this. You're right, man. You're right. Dang, don't do that.
Let's jump into bonus time. Guys, make sure you share, like, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all Go Time Dolphins.
Yeah.
For Kadeem Simmons, for Charlie Adams, for Charlie Touche, still recovering, get better. This is the Miami Dolphins podcast that not only goes across the pond but across the world. Stay positive, test negative, act safe.
Already.
Fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
I think we should end on. We spoke about it briefly before the trade deadline, and I think we go one. I think we go one each, one incoming, one outcoming, and just have it fairly realistic. Because listen,
none of this stuff that probably is impending doom. Realistic is get. Why don't you start off? Because I think you might have some things.
So the player I would bring in is someone who myself and Charlie really banged the table for in the offseason. It didn't happen. He stayed where he was. But I think where this team is now, I think you may be able to take him. And I think it's a weapon which Tua, I wouldn't say necessarily needs, but it'll be great to have. And that's Allen Robinson. Listen, the Bears are bad. Like, really, really bad. The chance that Matt Nagy is going to get fired. And I think Allen Robinson might say, listen, I know I've got Justin Fields. I know there's a lot of rubbish going on in Miami right now. But do you know what? They're less of a dumpster fire than Chicago right now. And I think if we keep Tua, you give him Allen Robinson, Jalen Waddle, just a reliable wide receiver. As Charlie always says, Aston Martin receivers for a Lamborghini quarterback, or something like that. And I think, listen, they opted for Will Fuller over Allen Robinson in the off season. Go rectify it. Go get Robinson now. Give him a, obviously it would have to be given a new deal, but I think if you bring in Robinson, you re-sign.
They might let him go with some cap space kind of thing. It would we'd probably have to lose some draft capital. And you're right. He's a great weapon, man, for certain. For certain.
And I think it's a matter of people
marquee player right there.
Yeah. People will say, well, you're 1-6, maybe 1-7. Why are you doing it? It's because this team isn't, you saw in the first season, this team doesn't quit. This team doesn't play to lose. This team wants to know what they have. And I think it would definitely say to your Devontae Parkers, your Albert Wilsons, your Will Fullers, your Preston Williams, stay healthy and stay in this field. Because now we've got two, as close to alpha receivers you're going to get in Waddle and Robinson. And I think if you can put out on the field, Waddle, Robinson, and Gesicki, that's when you really say to defenses, pick your poison.
Yeah.
Because someone's going to be open. So that's my first one. How about yours?
So for my first guy, I like that idea. It's a definite weapon for Tua, obviously. I think a running back would help us out a little bit, especially because Malcolm Brown's down. Not that he's been, terrible or anything like that, but he's been kind of what I expected. It seems like all these running backs that look great everywhere else, as soon as they get in that South Florida heat and that humidity, they're just slower, and that I expect it at this point. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head because running backs are all banged up all the friggin' time. I would like a young guy, but then young is unproven. I mean, if I could have anyone, I want Dalvin Cook. That's who I want. I want a guy who's proven it, who's still young enough to be dominant, or, Ezekiel Elliott, but they would never trade him. I could see, a marquee running back having a mega, mega deal because you need that veteran leadership. And that's what I liked about your pick with Allen, because he's a veteran leader and he's going to know, I'm beating this fool. They got this dumbass on the side over here, and I'm beating him on that double move. Now he's know what's coming. I'm going to go on the inside. We've been running out all day. I'm going to run in. As far as somebody to let go, no one's going to like to hear this. I say if we were going to trade away, we're not going to get value for it. But if somebody wanted it and they were giving us what we're giving back and forth, I would say Preston Williams. And I know people don't like to hear that because he's a good talent and stuff. But I think I don't like players like Preston Williams for this reason. I like what he does. I like what I've seen out of one friggin' game from the guy. Okay. We're talking about one good Cardinals game and flashes here and there. Guys like that drive me effing nuts, bro, because we're always looking at everything he should be and isn't. And that is the carrot on the stick that I don't want to play with no more. I want some guaranteed things. And it goes back to what I said earlier about the money. I don't want to Christian Wilkins. I've seen what I need to see at this point. And I get it. Not everything's there because D tackles, just size. But he lost weight this year. He has his weight under control. I would have assumed by now he would have put on more weight and been the Vince Wilfork type. But for whatever reason, he ain't got the long enough arms, ain't got the quick enough feet, power, meanness, I don't know what. But he didn't go that route. He went the light speed route. And although it's working on his one-on-ones, I don't need a D tackle that can't beat double teams. I need a D tackle that can split the double teams so I can have a 3-man front. So when I do my Aniba and I drop everyone back, I'm holding up 5 guys with 3. I'm going to beat you. This is about games and numbers. And he doesn't give you an advantage. He's no different than Zach Sealer. And that's not what I want from a first-round pick, and that's not what I want to pay big money for.
Yeah, I think, again, I think I said in the last episode, I think I nearly called him Wolford there. I think Wilkins has definitely come up better the last few weeks. I know a lot of fans were kind of saying he hasn't all come together yet. There's still too many games where he just, gets lost. Again, me personally, I think he's the last few weeks starting to show why he was a first round talent. I think he's starting to show that he will impose his will on games. Like I said, it's still not consistent enough for me.
I think it's a little more scheme specific than him imposing his will, though, bro. Because when I watch it, he usually takes up and he's that kind of chip play guy and stuff like that. He does a lot of dirty work for the guys on the edges, especially Emmanuel Ogba. When he's coming rushed, Christian Wilkins using that speed to push his man into him to get him on the outside or inside. So he does a lot of really good things, and there's value in that. I'm just talking about where someone else is thinking he's Aaron Donald potentially, or that's what they can make him into, and they'll pay that Aaron Donald money.
Yeah. I think, it's definitely a we'll see. I really hope that we keep him and we extend him. I'm a big fan.
You see him as like a Mike Gesicki, that he can be that good, Pro Bowl good. Because Mike Gesicki to me is just the only reason he ain't getting Pro Bowl is because he ain't getting the targets. That's what I think. That's it. That's the only thing holding Mike Gesicki back is scheme specific. And for me, with the other end of Christian Wilkins, it's the only success he's finding is scheme specific. You know what I'm saying? When his number's called, unless if he can't, not that he can't, I haven't seen enough that tells me he's the kind of guy that when I need him most, bro, he's not even the second, he's not the 4th or 5th guy you think of. When you would think of the guy standing next to him, Davis would make the play before he would. When he makes a play, it's a surprise. And I don't want a guy that surprises me by his production. I want to think, oh, it's 3rd and short. Good luck. Christian Wilkins is going to blow you up and knock your teeth out. I need more badasses on my football team, man. I like that we got smart kids. I like that we got brilliant kids. This game's a fight. I need a guy who knows how to do his business and is willing to not just sacrifice his body, but put the fear of God into the opponent at times. And I don't see any of that on a lot of the football. Even with X-Man, they're picking on him now because he's playing nicked up, and it's just a sheer numbers game.
I think so I've before I give the guy I would probably trade away. Here's some Christian Wilkins stats, kind of take him or leave him. So this was October 26th, the highest graded Dolphins through 7 weeks. Ogba was first with 89.5. Tua was second with 80.9, and third was Christian Wilkins at 80.2. And then I believe the week prior, so it's October 20th, highest graded interior defensive lineman the past 3 weeks. Jonathan Allen first with Washington, 91.3. Armon Watts second, 89.5, 89.4 with the Vikings. And Wilkins was actually third, 88.8, and he was above Aaron Donald, 87.5. So I still think, he's definitely improved.
The numbers are right. You're absolutely right. And he's on the right trajectory. And it's the time to keep young talent. Don't let it walk out the door. All the things we say. But as a cynic a little bit, as a Dolphins fan cynic, I've seen this game before where guys turn it on beforehand or just that, and the third. I don't want to look at what he's doing right now. I'm looking at the whole body of his work.
Of course, yeah.
And it's always been he's always been good.
Yeah.
But kind of like how we really expected Raekwon to blow up this year, that hasn't really happened. I think he's just a little, all the other reasons why, injury and those other things. But, I mean, at the beginning of this year, we weren't thinking Christian Wilkins going to blow up. It was Raekwon that was going to blow up. And although that Christian Wilkins is doing good in his ratings and all these analytics and numbers and all that, he don't have no impact on the game, dog. That's it. Yeah. He might get a sack, but it's in the second series of the game, and that's great. Freaking sack. He made a stop. But where's that sack in the fourth quarter? When, where was he when we were getting the bomb at the end of the second half and at the end of the game to lose the game? Where was he then? Because I know Matt Ryan had a shit ton of time in the pocket, bro. That's if you want the big money from us, same thing with Ogba right now. But Ogba's still, I can at least see Ogba on the field. I can see Ogba putting the pressure on. He looks like a madman. I would pay Ogba the big bucks well before I would pay Christian. And Christian's not going to take an Ogba contract, which might be 2, maybe 3 years. Christian's going to want a 4 or 5 year big deal, mega deal, because that's what he deserves. He's a young man. Yeah. But this team has done that, and it doesn't work. And not that it might not that he still can't be. I just err on the side of caution.
Yeah, I get that. I think I'm just a Wilkins fan, so if I was the GM, Wilkins would be in my office because he would have got a contract by now. Yeah. In terms of the guy I'd let go, listen, I'd bring in, like I said, I'd bring in Allen Robinson, and to me, a wide receiver has to go. Again, I'm torn between Wilson and Parker. I think Parker gives something that Wilson doesn't give, on kind of no one else gives on this offense. But Parker just can't stay healthy. And, if it's because his best friend has left or whatever it is, I think, and again, Charlie was adamant that Parker should have gone end of last year because you weren't going to get anything better than what you're going to get end of last year.
See, it's that logic I'm using for a lot of the other things too. Same way in that. But I like Parker's price, man. I like that he's a $9 million. That's his contract. I needed a guarantee. It's like 9.8 is his contract. He's very affordable, and he's worth at least 1 or 2 wins against New England because
Gilmore's gone. So it's not like he can make Gilmore
even before Gilmore and on other guys, he was smoking fools. He plays hard in a couple games. But same thing with Gesicki gone. I know that if Parker leaves, I'll see him catching footballs and doing good things and on fantasy boards and getting drafted, things like that. When in the analytics, when people start noticing and going, where the heck's Parker? Who the hell is Parker? You know what I'm saying? Now that he's catching balls from, I don't know, Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? And now that Aaron Rodgers makes people better and stuff like that, but I think he has the ability to be a Pro Bowler. And I'm not saying – I think Parker could be a Pro Bowler outside of his injuries a lot. I don't know if Christian Wilkins on his best day, this is probably his best year, and it's not a Pro Bowl worthy season. That's all. If this was a Pro Bowl worthy season, maybe it'll change by the end of the year, but let's stop paying for guys that aren't Pro Bowl worthy. Like if we had a different guy other than Jerome Baker right now, how much difference would it be? There'd be some growing pains because it's a different guy, different scheme. But not that they're growing on trees. And I like Jerome personally. I think he's worth the money we paid him. That's why he's here. I really do. I like the contract, and I like that he's here, and I like that we're paying him that money. But if he wanted $60 million, bye. Bye, Felicia.
Don't get me wrong. It's just I'm quickly trying to find his name. So I don't find him. The Dolphins. I'm trying to look at the draft. We moved up to get Liam Eichenberg, and I don't have any issue with that pick. Like I think both second round picks, I'm completely fine with.
Love the second round for us.
Yeah, but then you look at what the Browns got in Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, and you just go, imagine the Dolphins took him.
Yeah, but his circumstance is different though too, because of that that team he's playing on and the guys on it. The attention Garrett gets and stuff like that.
Of course, yeah.
It's and that I just got to look at things a little bit. If he was on our team, he wouldn't look any different than Phillips is. And honestly, Phillips is way better than that kid ever will be, I think. I think Phillips has the ability to get interceptions, cover every running back, not just any running back, every running back. You know what I'm saying? The best running back in the league he could cover. The ones that matter too, like Ezekiel Elliott, he can take him on. That's what we need.
I just think, I still would have taken Phillips in the first round. I just think if you add another
double down.
Yeah, because you have Phillips coming off the edge, and
Yeah, but how bad would this line look without Liam Eichenberg right now, bro?
Dude, I don't want to get.
Oh my God, could you imagine how bad it would look? Tua would be dead right now. He would have lost his head. He would be dead. We wouldn't have to worry about trades or anything. He wouldn't be alive.
Do you know what? I'll end on this because I find it quite funny. And a lot of people kind of laughed at it as well. Did you see what Jesse Davis said today about the sack, which basically injured Tua?
No, I did not. What did he say?
I want to get the exact quote back because people kind of
because I can tell it's going to be funny just from hearing it because the fact that you're pulling it out.
Like I can't get Sun Sentinel because I live in
I know
UK.
it. You don't got to explain it. They only let you have a couple, and then you got to pay the big time vig to get them all.
Yeah, let's get this. Oh my days. Nope.
Let me guess. She's like, well, I thought about it and I stepped the wrong way, and I'll just, let it happen and didn't mean to. And next time we'll get them, boys. Something like that. He probably said it. Probably sounded a lot more intelligent.
To be fair, he owned what he did. Today's. Why can't I find? I literally saw people tweet about it earlier, and now I cannot find it.
Yeah, Ross didn't like that. Flo said, "I don't want my boy getting drunk out to dry. Erase the internet of all this stuff." Yeah, I think
I can't find the exact quote, but what he essentially said was, "I'm not going to point fingers." It's like, dude, there's no fingers to point. It's on you. But he was like,
"You're not going to point fingers." No, he didn't say that.
Honestly, he was like, "I'm not
on the play." They asked him his play. He got the sack on an inch.
Yeah, he was like, "I'm not going to point fingers," but it was on me. And it's like, just like it wasn't you. Like no one could ever say.
Well, now that might not be true. Now I didn't know that, because what if he was supposed to take? Well, first of all, I saw the check, but maybe the guy next to him didn't tell him the check. Maybe what's his name said, "Hey, you didn't do the check, the original play." So maybe he was doing the wrong play. But either way, bro, you're the veteran on there. You can't trust anything they're saying. You better yell out to Tua or something like that. Certainly don't let that happen. I don't know. I think that's where a lot of the flubs are coming from. It's communication, bro. It's hard. It's loud on that field. Your adrenaline's pumping. Everything's a quick second, and it's easy to look back and for us to, make haste about and be like, why didn't they do that? But he definitely got him injured. And the fact that he goes, I'm not going to point fingers, that is a terrible answer. You look like an idiot for even saying that. Because on film, no matter what you say, that's you. You should be pointing the finger right up your nose, picking it.
Like I said, I can't get access to Sun Sentinel, but all I can see is a communication issue led to that. David said of the AJ.
Oh, see, I was kind of on it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? Even if it was a communication issue, dude, he got past you within like a second. So
no, that guy smoked him off the snap. He was late on the snap. He was waiting for like on 3, and it was like on 1. So if you got a communication problem, this is where I have my criticisms of the coaching right now. How the hell are they not seeing this in practice? Yeah. Where Jesse's, sitting on the toilet too long. You know what I'm saying? He got a little bit of friggin' leg fell asleep because he's reading too much on his cell phone during that play. What the hell is going on? The coaching staff needs to get whipped up a little bit on that. You know what really pisses me off, and I'll end with this, is that all this stuff happens to this team over the years, and I've seen a lot of winning and a lot of losing, and there's been plenty of excuses, and none more important than the injury excuse. This team is flipping healthy. They've had almost everybody all the time. Outside of when Tua got injured, there's just no excuses. They've done it the way they want, how they want, with who they want, and they're losing. And although they've created this web of who's the offensive coordinator and web of all this nonsense, I blame Flo. The coaching is a little bit subpar here. I don't know why. And his decision-making on game day has been, the fourth downs and what he chooses to play calling. It's been subpar. And, man, we said it last time. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Kyle Van Noy, Bobby McCain, and now I'm thinking, Chan Gailey. That's a lot of the winning that took on in this team last year. And hopefully these guys get it figured the hell out. I'm predicting them to figure it out this weekend, dog. I think we're going to win it. I think it's going to be a nail biter. If we lose it, I think it's going to be the same thing. I don't think it's going to be blown out. Bet against it. Bet against the spread, dog. I'm telling you, it's going to work.